All right, cool.
Okay, the order will be justification, topicality, then spending, and then case in order with inherency on top. For solids. Yeah. Is everyone ready? On the justification argument, they have conceded the thesis of this argument that Thomas explained in the 1NR. We think that we have read evidence that says that the states will offer social services to the federal government and that the federal government will just follow this. There's no logical reason why the federal government would ever refuse social services that are funded by the states. Their evidence that they claim says that the federal government is the only one to provide it, only says that the federal government does control the prisons and provide security. That doesn't mean that the states can't provide services specifically to the prisons. Next, they conceded the Bolden 2009 piece of evidence that says the federal government will back down in the face of states' pressure to provide these sorts of social services. This evidence has gone conceded. Don't allow new 2AR extrapolation on this because they have not explained their argument well enough before. Also, their second argument is that states are in debt and don't have the money. But they have conceded the Pajich piece of evidence that says gambling tax means that there is enough money that they could provide for it. Also, they have conceded that if the plan saves money, they are in a double bind, that either the states could provide it or they link to the spending disad. We also have reasons why federal spending is uniquely bad. Finally, they have conceded all the voting reasons. This is going conceded. You automatically vote on it if we prove that the federal government is not justified. On top, Kelly. I'm not going to spend very long here, but we all know that Bernie Madoff is obviously not in poverty. Him and other rich criminals, the federal government would measure as not in poverty based on assets, even when they're in prison, because they still maintain those assets when they come out, meaning the means testing program would rule that the people they give it to are not in poverty, means that they don't only target people in poverty, means they go outside the resolution and prove that it's not enough. Spending disadvantage. Their first argument is that we can make small expenditures. However, our evidence indicates that the freeze is specifically because they just proposed a budget. Obviously, we can make some expenditures in those parts. However, our evidence indicates that the Senate's Finance Committee and Obama are holding the line on these measures based on the 2011 budget and will not allow new sorts of spending. Our evidence says that there's a line in the sand after healthcare. We have read two pieces of evidence from the NPR and then a piece of evidence from April 24th that is the most recent evidence. Next is our New York Times that says non-budgetary spending would uniquely be bad for things like investors because it causes the government to increase interest rates, making it risky to invest for businesses. Businesses will become unconfident, will not invest in the economy, and that will cause the economy to shrink or stagnate. This increases crime, which is one of their advantages because crime is a very lucrative measure when we lead to an economic depression. And then also it means that we can't fund the entire plan because there's less infrastructure and less quality of care. Finally, our Mead 2009 evidence indicates that the economy would cause war, which could cause war, and we've seen that empirically with the Great Depression and World War II. And this affects all people, whereas the plan only affects a couple of prisoners. There's a huge distinction on that. Next is on inherency. This is a huge part of this debate that you could vote on independently. He just said, and I will quote in the 1AR, Congress will just follow. Remember that. That's all he said. They have no warrant here for why that's true. No new 2AR extrapolation. They only say the Supreme Court should mandate and then hopefully Congress follows. Empirically, this has not happened, meaning empirically they would not follow the bill. The evidence that says that senators support this is not conclusive that senators actually support this. They obviously rejected it in the past.